Hey, I'm Brian from BrianKeyFitness.com, qualified personal trainer and nutritionist. Is weight or fat loss your goal? Here are some small victories that are worth celebrating. So let's start with the elephant in the room. If you're on a weight or a fat loss journey, you're probably going to feel like the most important thing is your weight dropping or is your body fat reducing? I'm not going to say that's not important. Of course it is if that's your target. So tracking your weight loss, tracking your fat loss, they are things you should be doing. But they're not everything you should be doing. So also keep these 6 small victories in mind as you go along. Number 1, being okay with having treats in your house. When you're on a weight or a fat loss journey, your food relationship is probably one of the most important relationships you're going to have. If you feel that you're not able to keep your favorite foods in the house because that relationship has been destroyed, you probably need to start repairing that. As a coach and as a nutritionist, there is a point when systems over willpower is going to be the better approach. That's normally at the very start of your journey, where you clear your cupboards of all the favorite foods so that you don't feel tempted. You're using a system of not having the foods in your house over the willpower of having to decide whether you should eat the food or not. But you shouldn't be doing that 3, 6, 9 months into a weight loss journey, because that just reinforces that poor behavior and that negative relationship with food. So a small victory worth celebrating is being able to keep your favorite foods in your house and having them when you want them or when your plan dictates. And you're not sitting in another room thinking, my favorite food's in the cupboard. I might just have a bite. I might just have a scoop of ice cream. I might just have one of those biscuits. Your relationship with food is important, so don't do things that destroy it. So work with coaches or on programs or educate yourself so that you can continually improve your relationship with food over time. And this is just one way to know that it's improving and moving in the right direction. Number 2, uninstalling calorie tracking apps. Now, similar to the systems over willpower that I mentioned in point 1, I'm a big fan of tracking calories at the initial stage of a journey. Calorie trackers give you feedback, and it's very easy for me as a coach or a nutritionist or for another trainer that you're potentially working with or even yourself to make those adjustments based on the numbers. Now, you don't have to track calories to reduce body fat. You don't have to track calories to lose weight. It just helps a lot in the beginning. It's similar to trying to save money. You don't have to look at your bank account every day to see where you're spending money, but it can help because the numbers in front of you show you that, oh, I'm actually spending way too much money on groceries every week, or I'm spending way too much money on my weekend out. I probably need to pull that back a little bit so that I can save more. Food and calories are exactly the same. By tracking it for a week or 2, you can see where the surplus of calories is coming from. And then you can make adjustments to it. And they don't normally have to be dramatic either. Just small changes that you can stick to that yield positive results over time, i.e. a reduction in calories to support a calorie deficit, which helps with fat loss over time. Number 3, attending social events and not worrying about food. And this is a big one for me. I used to have massive anxiety around social gatherings that included food. I would think, well, those foods aren't on my plan. Or how am I going to factor in those calories? Or how am I going to track those calories? These are all thoughts that can go on in someone's head when you're on a weight loss journey and you have a social event coming up. And a small win is that you can go to these events and not worry about food. What I generally do with people in my programs is give them a weekly free meal. So if you have a social event coming up, you have your free meal. That means that you go and enjoy the food and enjoy the drinks at that, and then you reset and you're back on plan the next day. That's a very effective tool for a lot of people. So experiment with your version of that and see if it improves your relationship with food at social gatherings so that you don't worry and feel anxious around the food that's going to be at that event. And it doesn't set you back on your goals either if you're strategic about it. Number 4, you can put food away as leftovers when you feel satisfied. Another one for me, if you have that clear your plate philosophy that's been embedded in there since childhood, you know what I'm talking about here. But a small win that normally comes alongside mindful eating is being able to put away extra food and having it as a leftover for the following day. You don't need to clear your plate. You don't need to eat everything that you've cooked. If you're continually healing your food relationship over time, you can stop when you're satisfied and you can put the food away for another time. And for anyone who's had any sort of disordered eating pattern, like binge restrict cycles or just overeating to the point of numbness and fullness, this can be a massive win that's worth celebrating. And it goes a long way to showing that you've healed your relationship with food and with yourself. Number 5, moving because it just feels good. Exercise and moving more can make you feel great, but it can also be a catch-22. When you feel the need to train because you've gone off plan with your food or you've overeaten, that's when exercise can become a little bit unhealthy. And if you've ever found yourself overeating at a meal or having a pizza or chocolate or ice cream the night before and then getting into the gym and working off your 600 calories, that's where exercise starts to lose its benefit. And you reinforce that negative behavior that food is bad and I need to pay the price for falling off plan. You don't. A good sign that your food relationship and exercise relationship is good is that you move just because it feels good. You're not smashing a workout or running miles just to burn off the calories you ate the night before. And to be honest, it's just not that helpful. when you understand basic metabolism, when you understand that consistency is the most important thing when it comes to nutrition, consistently not eating too many calories, consistently following a training program you enjoy, consistently looking at your sleep quality every night, consistently following a resistance program where you're increasing your metabolic rate, mixed in maybe with some cardio to burn extra calories if you have a weight loss goal. These are the things that matter. So when you get to a point where you're moving just because it feels good, you know that your relationship with exercise is good too. And finally, number 6, you don't care about the next new fad diet that comes out. This is a real tipping point for a lot of people. If you've yo-yo dieted or you've been on a weight or a fat loss journey for a long period of time, but you finally found something that's sustainable for you, good nutritional plan, exercise regimen you can stick to, gym, home, or step count based, and then you hear about this new fad diet and you just brush it off, you know you're in a good place. Because once upon a time, you went and jumped on the new fad diet because it promised the quick fix and you were seduced by that. So when you get to the stage where that doesn't happen, give yourself a pat on the back. And that victory is well worth celebrating. There are 6 small victories worth celebrating if you're on a weight or fat loss journey. Did I miss any? Do you have any victories that you regularly celebrate? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe for videos coming each and every week.